Today what I want to talk to y'all about is garden netting. I've never used these before this season or this fall season, but I always just wanted to give it a try. I've heard talk about like killing birds, so I didn't really want to get them for that. But then when I went to Walmart and found them at $1 a piece, I probably got about 40 of them, and it's plastic, so it's gonna last if I don't use it, so I should have it for a couple of years, which is the good thing. But I don't really get attacked by birds much, so I got them and I was like, well, maybe if I need it, I'll get them. I'm growing strawberries, so I said, okay, well, I might drape some over the strawberries. But what happened was, for the last 2 years, we've been having a nighttime critter problem. From looking at the manure, it's rabbits. Then sometimes I think it's rats. But I did some research, and it was like 20 to 40% of all produce is taken out by pests. So that's the reason that I started using this. So I'm going to show you today some of the applications that I'm using it in. One is on the raised beds, and it's actually stopped me from getting ate out of house and home. And then I'm going to take you back here to the high tunnel and show you how when I first started using it, that's when I figured out, man, it's gonna work in all applications. So like I said, I don't use them on any of my trees, blueberry bushes, none of that stuff. Basically, I use them to do this. These are some carrots, as you can see. Hold this. Let me sit it down. With the carrots, I found them a little bit easier to use. With your smaller little seedlings that's coming up, it gets difficult, which in that case is going to be best for you to put the hoops up. But once you get vegetables that's established, like this one, you won't get them coming through the netting. And this is what happens here. You can see this part here is actually out of the netting. But with carrots, they're so easy, it just comes right up. You can just pull it up. It doesn't even pull off any of the leaf foliage or anything. But with all your other vegetables, I found that, like it just did over here, if you're looking at this kale right here, sometimes if you try to pick that up, it'll pop off your kale, kind of like how it did this. So that's one of the benefits to having this garden netting. Here, I've had it. I did a video on this one, and I've had it come off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you in the high tunnel and show you how, if you can stop them from getting in and eating your stuff while it's small and tender, is what those rabbits love. But they will eat any and everything. So it's starting to drizzle a little bit, so I'm going to take you in the high tunnel so I don't have to worry about the camera getting wet. So good walk. I used to, when I first started, I was like, the rain and it was flooding my yard, and I really was like, oh man, I can't take too much rain. But now I just say, if it rains, it rains. I kind of get benefited in the high tunnel because none of my foliage gets rained on. Everything gets water from the bottom. So right now it's like kind of flooded out in here, as you can see. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the netting. I want to show you, if I can get in here. I got my boots on, so I can. I'm gonna put this down, and we're gonna talk some more about this. This is the first time I used the garden netting. As you can see right here, I just planted talking about here. all of this is just kale, and I kind of planted it a little thickly, but I was getting destroyed by the rabbits. Every time I planted something to start with, come out as soon as it breaks ground in about a week. After about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when it really starts to looking good, I come in one day and everything's gone. But since I put on this garden netting, I've actually had no problems with the pests. Even though they've grown in some instances, like here, these have actually grown through the netting where I can't even pull the netting out, but they're still growing well. And what I found is, if you have this netting down, once the rabbits or whatever comes walking by it and their feet get stuck on it, or they feel something different than the ground actually catches their feet, then they'll kind of move away from it. So what I intend to do, let me see if I can figure out a way to get back here to the back. What I intend to do, I'm not really having any problems outside of the high tunnel. Everything is in the high tunnel and the raised beds. Everything that I have in the ground, they don't seem to even go up there to the front of the house. Everything is back here at the back. So let me show you. Get through all this water. You can hear all this water I'm walking in. Like a little forest. It's like a rainforest. So we took out the jute yesterday, and Beverly actually got all the seeds inside. So what I'm going to show you now is I actually did what you would call like a control experiment. What I found is here, the netting does nothing for cabbage worms, snails, whatever else you got. You have to handle that separately. But the reason why I didn't spray anything on these is because I wanted them to be just as attractive to the rabbits or whatever it was, just as attractive as it was before. The only thing different here you're seeing is the ground netting or the garden netting, what people call bird netting. But as you can see, nothing has actually touched any of the cabbage, which is like the Chinese cabbage. Nothing has touched this broccoli. Nothing has touched this cauliflower. I didn't give any fertilizer or any kind of pest sprays, but you can see that the garden netting has protected it, and nothing has actually came about to eat it. Now I'm going to show you this part before I put the netting on. This is why I actually got the netting, is because this is how sticky this stuff is. Let's see. This is actually 2 pieces. I kind of just roll it out. It's 14 by 14, so I don't use all of this. You can see I was kind of thick right here. I kind of just roll it out to the size of my bed, and I'll show y'all that a little bit, and then stop. So before I put the netting on, I had cauliflower out here, and you'll see it, whatever it was, it just came in and ate it down to the nub, and that was it for it. So this was a self-blanching cauliflower. It's disheartening to come in and then you think, okay, well, they ate the cauliflower, but they ain't gonna eat. I'm gonna plant some ginger. These things came in and ate the ginger down to the nub. Once the ginger was ate down to the nub, I'm waiting to see will it come back, but I haven't put any garden net in here. I just reseeded. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let's get down to it. I just reseeded with some carrots, and I left the rest of it alone. And as you can see, all down here I had ginger that just didn't come over here, but you can tell they started eating on the top of that one. This one they've left alone. So So what I found is here in the high tunnel, especially, is that the garden netting for $1, it was originally $6.82. I couldn't afford it at that price, but with it being $1 and me having so much of it, and I figured out why I have so much of it. It's because I need it. I'm a big believer that the universe or God or whatever you call it, I call it God, I call it the Father, gives us what we need when we need it. Like we might not even know why we're getting it, but he's like, okay, I'm setting you up 6 months down the line to handle this problem where you can sleep a little bit at night. So let me let you down here again so I can show you. If I wanted to, I could take this and cut it right here, and that will give me enough to put over another row. So this stuff is just comes folded up, and you basically just unfold it to the width of your bed or your row and just lay it over there, and you can't really see it, and I'm sure at nighttime it looks a little bit more crazier. Now if I wanted, with the spring still coming, these things can grow year round in here. I can take off all of this outside leafage and actually give it to the chickens and actually start fertilizing this and getting it to grow, which is what I probably would do. But I wanted to get this video in to show you that what kind of netting we've been using, and basically how it feels to come in. This is like our second year growing in this high tunnel. So I want to show you how it feels to come in one day and have all of your stuff ate out, and you like, it's it's a crazy feeling. You get that anger, everything associated with it, you know, cursing and like, what's going on? Like, if I find who did this, and then after a while you kind of can calm down and say, okay, how do I combat this without going overboard? So this is a way you don't have to worry about rabbit repellent, deer repellent. I see a lot of people having deer problems. This is a real cheap, inefficient way. As long as you find a way to get it down, deer won't be able to eat through this. If they do, they're going to be eating plastic, and they don't want to eat plastic. So get your stuff covered up pretty good, cheap, inexpensive. I mean, you can see the little holes. Almost nothing can get through there. I mean, rats. The only thing I found, let me say this, the only thing I found is if a rat is eating your produce at night, that's when they're gonna come out. I've caught 2 rats. Now I don't mean I've caught, I mean when they get caught up in here, the worst part of this, of having this netting, is it is gonna take them out. And they can't just get out once they get caught up in there. So I'm guessing it's an all-night tug of war, and they just tangle themselves up more and more and more. At that point, you can call somebody over. If you're a woman, you know, call over somebody, be a little damsel in distress. Please come help me get this out of my garden netting. Or you can, like, if you're a man, you can man up and do like I did. I still didn't touch it. I like cut around it, or get a shovel or something and try to cut it out of there. I've also had a snake caught in one of these. I didn't kill it. I left the snake in there, and then I came back like about a week later. It was still there, and then about a day after that, it was gone, and the remnants of it was left. Something came in here and actually took it out for me, if you know what I mean. So something that had snake on the diet. I don't want to know what it was. I don't care what it was. So that's basically all I've caught, is 1 snake and 2 rats. Other than that, once they get used to knowing that that's a no-go zone, you probably won't have that problem anymore. And that's what I've found. Now I see little pellets and things around here, little rabbit pellets around. So I know the rabbits are still somewhere around here. But as far as in this area, I don't even see footprints or anything. So they don't even come around this area. They know even at night not to go over there because that's a trap. Something has been set over there. So that's basically, I wanted to do this video because once I start gardening for the spring, I'm gonna have videos coming out, God spare, and you'll start to see me using the netting, and you'll see netting draped over different things, and then people are gonna ask, you know, what kind of netting is that, where you get the netting from, you know, all those kind of questions. So I wanted to have a full in-depth type video of garden netting, bird netting. Check this out. I've actually, these are falling apart. I've actually also used the netting to start my tomato seedlings. Now, as I said, something else has been eating these. You can see like little bugs have been eating them, but no rats eating them, and rats won't really eat tomato seeds anyway, I don't think. So even if you're starting seeds, that might be something you can use. If you're starting seeds outside and something keeps eating your seeds, all you need is one of these, because your seed area won't be as big as a garden area. Get you one of these. This is 14 by 14, cut it how you want it. Put this over your seedlings, and I'm sure, almost promise you, you might have problems with gnats, fungus gnats. You might have problems with cabbage loopers, aphids, but you will not have a problem with a rat eating any of your stuff. I can guarantee you that. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to find things that we have and trying to repurpose them for another cause, for a better cause, or either be able to use it in different applications. So one of the best applications that I found now with the garden netting is to use it as a rat deterrent and a rabbit deterrent, also a deer deterrent. This is the first weekend forever since I've taken off of work, so I'm excited about that. You can see all this hair on my face. But check this out. This is also another application that I found. Let me get you around where you can see it real good. I actually put this down and look up in here if you can see that. Do I need to get any closer? Let me just take one. So you also can use it as a trellis. Not too bad. So use it as a trellis. It works. So I think that's it for today. Anytime anybody asks me a question during the spring about what's that netting and why that netting still draped over it and where you get it from, those kind of questions, I refer you to this long video. The whole video, all I'm talking about is one thing: garden netting, garden netting, garden netting, protection, protection. Y'all remember I did a video about offense and defense, right? I said offense is good, but defense wins championships. What I'm gonna show you is one application of using the netting. I won't leave this on, but I'm gonna show you how it's done. All right. So if you have something that's eating your strawberries, you don't have anything but some old silly netting lying around, right? So you take your netting out and it just falls out. And basically, all you want to do is deter. I've noticed about pets, they don't like things that are not normal. Like they like ground and all that. So you get rats that crawls up in the middle of the night. They'll crawl up this pole back here, and they know what the pole is like. So, but when this stuff starts grabbing them, see how it looks? When this stuff starts grabbing them, they're like, can't go over there, man. Something's crazy over there. It ain't right. So this stuff is real tangly. Oh man, but it's easy to work with. It's not crazy to work with. It's just after a while you learn to just how to use it, how to stay away from it. But here we go, 14 by 14. I can hang some over the top of that pole. It's gonna grip on that pole. Let it hang down. We'll bring it this way. Can y'all see that? Am I wide enough? Let me see if I can widen out a little bit. Yeah, I'm wide enough. Let me bring it back so you can see. That's better. Alright, so I got it over. I want to actually use that pole for my leverage because I don't want my strawberry, the foliage growing up in between here, because that'll cause them to grow up in there and get stuck. So kind of halving this off. I probably won't be able to protect the whole bed, but I'll see how much we can protect. Right now it's all the way on the back side. See how tangly this stuff is? It caught a branch already. Get that out of the way. Alright, so I'm gonna let it down some more. Sometimes you just gotta find where this stuff is caught at. Then it just unrolls real easy. Alright. So right now this is what I have. And you can see how my whole area is actually protected. Get a little bit better on this side. And it's just grabbing on everything, so you gotta take your time with it. Get it right. Alright, so right now I have the whole thing is covered right now. Perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. Let it kind of grab in on itself. Find a little piece of something for it to catch hold of, and then you can just readjust it every now and then, or get you a zip tie and put you a zip tie. I probably would get a zip tie and just put it in between right here just to hold this. Let me let you see. I wonder if you can get a good look at how this netting is. You can barely see it, but you see how this netting is draped? You can see it, like if I do that, it's actually draped all the way. So these strawberries, as they grow, and it's about to start growing, so I'm about to start fertilizing these. So as they grow, I won't have to worry about birds coming in, squirrels coming in, because it's right by these trees. They'll come in, get them a little snack, but now I don't have to worry about that. So that netting is good for that application, but I say that because I don't really have problems with birds eating my strawberries, I'm gonna leave this right here for the rest of the season. My problem is not with the birds in the air. My problem has been with those things, those pests on the ground. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you, and if it didn't, keep watching anyway, because I got something coming up for you that you'll like. I'm sure of it. So thank y'all for watching, and as always, grow, grow, grow. Peace.